A motorcycle repair shop on the north side of the noodle shop simultaneously set up its offerings table. Judging by the outsized table and offerings, the owner was either less lucky or more fearful than the guy who ran the God's store. Incense smoke as thick as a movie special effect streamed out of a censer on his table. The makeshift offering tables were meant to appease not only the spirits of one's ancestors, but also those of people who died with no heirs. Supposedly, if no one was around to pray for you and offer money and food throughout the year, you really suffered in the afterlife. You might be pierced with hooks, hung upside down and set on fire, depending on what your specific beliefs were. After 11 months of pain and hunger, these ghosts were looking to take out their wrath on anybody alive. I looked over at the gods next door and choked on the spiced air. This morning, each of the 7 24-hour news channels had been going off on the betel nut girl, who was shot and killed, replaying computer-animated reenactments of the crime. If the surveillance camera footage had been available, that would have been played in endless loops, too. I watched the cartoon shooting with indifference, numbed to the over-the-top violence, sex, and sexual violence the news channels served up to compete for eyeballs. The woman in the animated reenactment looked more like a strung-out Marge Simpson than Julia. One version featured the gunman killing the woman and then spitting betel nut juice on her face as a final act of indecency. The girls who work at betel nut stalls are usually in tough circumstances. It pays well and doesn't require a college degree. You just have to be willing to wear next to nothing and to let the occasional big tipper conduct your breast exam. How many disgusting men with ugly red-stained teeth drove up to the stand and tried to grab you when you handed them their betel nut chew, Julia? Did you fight back? Is that why he shot you? Betel nut, or bin lang, is a stimulant grubby Taiwanese men can't get enough of. Bin lang is utterly unacceptable in most social settings, even in easygoing Taipei, because users constantly spit out the bloody juice as it collects in the mouth, staining the teeth and gums. If you want to chew bin lang, you have to not care what you look like. There are many benefits to chewing bin lang, though. It's better than coffee at keeping drivers alert, which is why it's so often associated with taxi, bus, and truck drivers. It has a flavor that outlasts any gum, and it tops cigarettes in terms of effectively delivering mouth cancer to its users. Best of all are the barely legal, barely dressed women who work at the betel nut stands, the betel nut beauties, or bin lang shi shi. Community standards and furious wives have kept betel nut stands outside the city limits, relegating them to highways and off and on ramps. At night, drivers will see stretches of young women in swimsuits and lingerie in their glass-enclosed stands. Visitors to Taiwan think all the women are prostitutes. As I understand it, only the less reputable stands are fronts for hookers, who also sell illegal drugs. Nonetheless, religious and political leaders have often called for regulation in the industry. A Christian coalition called for the women to completely cover the 3 B's: breasts, butts, and bellies. But then the tips wouldn't be as good. Anyway, some of the privileged young women at Taipei's throbbing nightclubs weren't dressed that differently from socially and educationally disadvantaged betel nut beauties. Are the bin lang shi shi exploited, or are they empowered? Maybe a combination of the two. It's hard to say. Many of the women who work at the stands are from broken and poor families. Some stands employ Aboriginal girls for a touch of the exotic. The income they earn is on the high side, but they are typically supporting an entire household. One thing is quite clear, though. There is money in it, and the bin lang stands have a steady inflow from lonely betel nut addicts. Drugs, tits, and asses are recession-proof, and even the most